Gullwing Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, who is fearless in a world of reckless automobiles. These are Caliente Motovlogs.
Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Hey, what's up YouTube? Hey, your boy Chris, I'm out on the Gullwing. I'm actually almost home. Actually, I'm about 2 hours from home. Left out of Galveston early this morning. It was still dark out before 6 o'clock, and I've been on the road all day. And it's almost 5 o'clock, and I'm about 2 hours from home. And it's been a good ride. I'm trying to make it in. It's going to get dark soon. I would like to thank all of my Caliente viewers and subscribers that was planning on coming out to the Texas Lone Star Rally and meeting me at Gold Strike. As you know, I had to cancel my meet and greet because of the cold weather that's dropping down from the north.
And by tomorrow morning, winds are going to gust over 30 miles an hour, still out of the northwest. And that's basically going to be the cold air coming down from the north of here. And that's going to lead to temperatures trending about 15 to 20 degrees colder than average tomorrow and Monday. And then once we get into the day tomorrow, we're talking 40s pretty much the whole day. And then, yeah, it's just going to be breezy, cold. And then as we head towards Monday morning, temperatures drop down to below freezing. In fact, 20s for a lot of spots, which means we're going to get our first hard freeze of the year.
If I would have stayed until Saturday evening or Sunday, the temps in Memphis would be around the upper 40s, the lows in the 30s. And I can put things in my trailer that the average rider could not take when you're not pulling a trailer. Things like extra gear, things like coveralls, you know, the extra things that you would need during this time of year. You know, we getting into the time of the year to where the weather patterns are unstable.
The reason for that is going to be a cold front off to the west. There's also a front down to the south of us. We're sort of sandwiched in between, but this is going to be the consequential one, the one off to the west here. Very cold air behind that, and that's going to push in a couple hours from now, and it's going to basically be a big wind shift.
So I was prepared to leave on Sunday morning. That was my original plan, but my group was saying, hey, Chris, man, you really need to check this weather because we got some real cold weather coming down. So on Friday night, when I finally had a chance to look at the weather, I had no idea that we was getting all of that cold coming from the north dropping down. You know, that's the thing about being in Galveston. The weather is so nice that you'll lose situational awareness about the weather in other places because it's just so nice on that coast. The weather's warm, the sun is shining bright, and I think they're supposed to get that cold weather in around Monday. So it's coming from the north, it's dropping down, but I just would like to thank all of the Caliente viewers and subscribers that was planning on coming out to Gold Strike. My apologies that I didn't get a chance to meet up with you. And when the weather take a turn, all you can do is adjust. That's the thing I kind of like about having a trailer. You can put things in your trailer that you normally couldn't carry. You know, a lot of guys that watches my channel, some of them feel like a trailer may be too bulky. I have people that ask me a lot of times, why do you carry a trailer with you everywhere you go? That's because I could carry things with me that I normally couldn't carry. But if I would have stayed in Galveston like I originally planned, it would have been a good possibility that the men that I was riding with could get sick, could get pneumonia. You know, and that's the thing about riding these motorcycles. It look good going down the highway. You know, the wind is whipping by and you're on the gold wing and it seems like there's not a care in the world, but, you know, there's a safety side to everything. You know, when you're riding in a car, you don't have to think about the temperature. If you forget your jacket, no problem. Just reach over, turn on your heat, and keep it moving. But on a motorcycle, you know, it can start out warm and get cold, or it can start out cold and get hot, or you can start out dry and get wet. So you really have to be prepared for different situations, especially when you're getting far away from home, like on a road trip. You know, when you don't have a trailer, there's only so much that you can actually put on your bike. There's only so much you can put in your saddlebag. There's only so much you can strap to the bike. So I get it. But I think a good leader has to consider the people around him. So after taking into account that the guys I was riding with was not prepared for those cold temperatures, at least traveling in cold temperatures for hours on hand, they was not ready for that. So I made the decision to just cancel my trip and leave out a day early. That way I can get in before, and they can get in before the cold weather hits. So it's supposed to come in after midnight, Saturday night into early Sunday morning, and we're talking highs around the upper 40s. So you got to keep that in mind. You know, when you're riding a motorcycle, you want to constantly stay conscious of the weather. Always take that into consideration. You know, when you're on a motorcycle, you have to take into consideration wildlife running out in the street. You have to take into account limited fuel range, temperature changes, dry, cold, wet conditions, heavy traffic. You know, all of those things have to be taken into consideration when you're riding your motorcycle. That's what makes a good rider, is being able to kind of have some foresight and be ready for whatever comes down the chute. You know, you may have a flat. You know, are you ready to deal with it? You may have a breakdown. You know, are you prepared to deal with a breakdown far away from home? So, riding on motorcycles are inherently dangerous. They're fun. They're relaxing. They're therapeutic. It's free therapy. But you got to be prepared to make changes. You got to be prepared to make adjustments. It's kind of like a football coach. You know, a football coach, he brings the team out. They're ready to play. And if things are not going the way they planned, they have to go back and draw up another play. I had no idea that place had so many Harleys, and they was revving their engines, and it was just like that all night. It seemed like I had to put my earplugs in just to go to sleep. But overall, I had a very good time. I enjoyed myself. Shouts out to Long Haul that came down from Austin, Texas, that gave us a tour of Galveston. Shouts out to Jumper that came down from Birmingham, who rode with me. Shouts out to Professor KB that rode all the way. He's behind me on his Honda Gold Wing. So be safe out on your Honda Gold Wing. I'll be home in about an hour or so. It's going to be dark out. The temperature has already dropped. You know, it gets kind of cool at nighttime. So I'm snuggled up like a bug in a rug. And if God stays the same, I'll be home in an hour or so. But it's been a good ride. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my trip to Galveston. Hey, if you're new to the channel, hey, take that opportunity to click the subscribe button. If you would like to support the Caliente YouTube channel, click that thanks button. Don't forget to pick up your Gold Strike accessories for your Hunter Gold Wing. They make the best accessories for the Hunter Gold Wing. Shouts out to Gold Strike. And if you are not running a Cardo Pack Talk Edge or Cardo Pack Talk Pro, be sure to upgrade your headset to the Cardo Pack Talk Pro or the Cardo Pack Talk Edge. Technology is always moving, and we want to try to stay current. This is your boy Chris, out on the Gold Wing. Out on the Gold Wing. And I've been riding from sun up, sundown. And I will, as always. I'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.